Welcome to the Profitable Hypnosis Business Summit, where top experts share their kick-ass money-making strategies and success habits. Hey, are you ready to turn your hypnosis business into a business that creates cash flow and gives you the life you want? I'm Karen Bird, your host. I own Win with Hypnosis, and you might know me as the Attitude of a Champion trainer. And I put together this online event to bring you some of the best experts from around the world. They're going to be sharing with you their number one secret in how they successfully and consistently bring in more clients, see more success, and kick ass in their business and their lives. And I am so thrilled to interview Vicky today. Thank you for being with us here, Vicky.
Thank you so much for having me.
I have tons of questions for you. I'm so excited to hear all about it. So Vicky is going to be telling us a little bit about how to set yourself up for success with a soul-led practice, which is so interesting to me. So we'll get into that in just a moment. A little bit about Vicky. Vicky is a clinical hypnotherapist and a business breakthrough coach based in New Zealand. She helps hypnotists and healers to rewrite their money story and build a profitable, sustainable practice. And before I start to ask Vicky a few questions, I just want to let all of you viewers out there know that the year that I decided to get a business coach, my whole world expanded. And it sounds like Vicky does a little bit of that. So we're going to be getting into that a little bit. Vicky, can you tell us about, first question for you, what is a soul-led business? And what do you mean by that?
Absolutely, thank you. So a soul-led practice, as I see it, is about creating a business or a practice that is the right fit for you. So it's about building a practice that works with your personality, with your tendencies, so that we can create something that we actually love to work in and that uses our strengths. So whether that's identifying the right type of marketing, whether you're, a technical mind and doing funnels and things is great for you, or whether actually it's about connecting with people and doing things like public speaking. So it's getting in touch with our inner gifts and building a business that we love ultimately.
I love that, because we all know that when we own a business, we don't necessarily count the hours, but it's really important that we enjoy what we're doing. And then we don't even care about the hours because it's exciting, right? And that's kind of what that soul-led is, and that you help people find that. And a lot of us need a coach or someone to direct us in how to find that. So.
Absolutely. And as hypnotists, we understand how the mind works and we have so many insights and we help so many people. But sometimes, it's like you're in a little worm stuck in the mud. And even though you know what to do if somebody asks for help, sometimes we just can't see it for ourselves. And we need somebody else to give us that bird's eye view and help us to see they've got that different perspective.
Exactly. So tell us a little bit what archetypes are, because I know that's part of your business and how you really work with your clients, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So I love working with archetypes because they speak to the innate patterns that run in all of us, no matter whereabouts in the world we are, no matter what culture, you'll find that there's the ruler and the hero. People play out these roles. And so again, as part of building that soul-led practice, it's about reflecting it and knowing yourself. And archetypes give us a shortcut to that, basically. I have had it described by a client that understanding their archetypes was having their best friend there, somebody who lovingly knows the real you and is unafraid to show you your shadow side as well as your strengths.
Interesting. So tell us a little bit about one of the archetypes. I'd love to hear a little bit about one of them and give us an example.
Sure, absolutely. So I work with archetypes with branding, but also with our money personality. And I've really noticed that in the hypnotist community, there is a strong connection with the nurturer archetype and the alchemist archetype. So the nurturers are all about generosity, caring, and compassion. And that's a wonderful thing. As you can tell, we're all usually getting into this business because we want to help people. And that is a beautiful thing. Now, the shadow side of the nurturer can come in where that flow of generosity is just going one way. So we can give too much, we can over deliver, we can allow our sessions to go over time. Maybe we aren't good at keeping boundaries with our pricing. And so it's about giving outwards, but blocking that flow to receiving, coming back in towards us.
Right. And then I would almost say probably finding out those limitations and then recognizing when those are showing up and
Yeah.
shifting out of it.
Absolutely. And the wonderful thing about understanding this as an archetype is that we can have that dissociation. So when we see this tendency of, somebody needs help, I'm going to offer it without even somebody asking for help, and I'm going to offer it for free, then we can recognize, oh, look, there's the nurturer coming out, rather than, oh my gosh, what's wrong with me?
Right. Right. Makes a lot of sense. So how can they help us grow our businesses?
Absolutely. Well, again, it's about knowing yourself and knowing those tendencies so that we can really work with it. So again, with the nurturer, the affirmation or the mindset to take on board is about empowering yourself so that you can then care for others, like putting your own oxygen mask on first. So when we know that and we know our tendencies, for example, we can work with a coach or a buddy or some support network to actually create our pricing. And then we can set that firm boundary around it, for example. So we can make sure that we are charging what we're worth, and we have those boundaries in place around over delivering and going over time. And of course, when we can do that, I mean, imagine if you were charging your worth right now, how much more money would you be making without any extra effort?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Tell us a little bit about your background also, because I'm very interested. Because like I said, so many that get into this business, we're great hypnotists and hypnotherapists, but it takes many, many years to be good business people and entrepreneurs. And tell us a little bit about your background and what you do to help that.
Sure, absolutely. So, I mean, I guess I've been self-employed since I was 14 years old, and I started teaching dance classes. So my background is in dance and choreography, and it took me overseas from New Zealand over to England, to London, where I danced over there. And I've always been a Gemini, so I've had, lots of different things going on all of the time. So as I say, dancing and teaching fitness classes, and I did stage fighting for a while at the Globe Theatre, which was pretty fun. And yeah, lots of things going on. I moved overseas, and I moved to Guatemala, where there wasn't many opportunities for dancing there. So I was like, okay, what's next? And so again, that entrepreneurial spirit kicked in, and I looked around, I was like, what do I want? I want a decent place to go out at night, because where we were, there were not many opportunities for like nice restaurants and bars where if you didn't drink beer, you didn't have any other options. So I created a cocktail bar. And that went really, really well. We actually did so well. We got such a great reputation that when the president came to town, they booked in to come and eat with us. So that was really, really exciting. And it's just a sign of what can happen and what we can do when we actually take on the persona of our ideal customer, put ourselves in their shoes and think about what is it that they want, what are they looking for in their own words, and because I was looking after myself basically with creating this, is like, well, I want a wonderful experience, I want a nice place to go, I want this type of food and drink, so in that situation it was quite clear and easy to do that and to discover that. And so with building my hypnosis business now, it's been that same thing. I love having regular conversations with my ideal clients, finding out what are they looking for in their own words. And of course, as we know, people's words are powerful. We feed them back to them, right? And so people often say to me, like, I read your website, or, I've interacted with you, and I know that you are the exact person to help me because you understand what I'm going through. Mm-hmm. And the reason is it's because I've talked to them and I've used their words. Yeah. So we put ourselves in other people's shoes instead of, using our jargon or the language of what we think they want. So actually, let's get out there and ask people, what do they want? What are they struggling with in their words?
Exactly. And that's one of those mindsets that helps hypnotists create a successful business, right? Can you tell us if you have a number one secret that helps you to consistently and successfully grow a business?
Yeah, definitely. And this is one that I will credit Richard Kello with. He is a New Zealand hypnotherapist who's been doing really well with being in the media lately, and he's just amazing. And I asked him about a year ago now, I said to him, so what do you think is your secret to success? And he said, you know what? I treat my hypnosis practice as a business, and I've done so from day one. Mm-hmm. And it sounds like such a simple thing. And yet it's something I've noticed a lot of us don't do. So we come into this work because it's our calling, it's our purpose, we're living our passion. And because of that, perhaps we don't treat it like a business, like we would do if we were running a grocery store or even a doctor's surgery.
Yeah, you are so right. And we don't even recognize, I think a lot of times, I was saying, I've been in the business a very long time, and in the beginning, recognize our value, the value that we are giving. When we finally recognize that value, we can own it and treat it like a business, because there's money to be made in it. And it's not that we're taking money that we aren't deserving of, because the value of changing people's lives is worth hundreds and thousands of dollars.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And if nothing else, our time has value as well. The transformation that we offer has value. Definitely.
Yes, absolutely. So what is one thing that you do differently that you think a lot of, or possibly a lot of hypnotists and hypnotherapists don't do in your practice? Maybe a daily tip.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. So I think one thing that I do really well is about making outreach and actual personal connections with people. We tend to feel like we're working really hard building our business because we've posted quotes on Facebook, for example. And it's like there's kind of a glass wall that we can hide behind, where we are like working really hard and being really busy and putting ourselves out there, but we're not actually touching somebody, connecting with somebody, talking with somebody. And so something that I feel that I do really well and that I felt has made a massive impact on my business is actually getting out there and building those connections, whether it's talking to people in my community, giving talks or workshops, just connecting with other providers with a similar market, like chiropractors, the lady at the crystal shop, these kinds of things. On Facebook groups, going in and actually helping people and building connections and conversations with these people, rather than just kind of putting things out, which is really just hiding.
Yes. So making those connections with others, similar to you being on this Profitable Business Summit, just making those connections with others so that we can all learn from you and your expertise.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, as I say, like reaching out to your target market, getting to know them personally. I mean, when I do these calls, I say, hey, this isn't a sales pitch. Like this is actually, a genuine meeting and a conversation that we're having. But I tell you what, pretty much everybody who's been on those sales calls wants to buy because they're inspired. They want to find out more.
Exactly. That's such a great tip. Is there anything else that you'd like to share with us before we tell the audience about your free gift?
Really just that you all have so much value. We've got so much to offer to this world, and we just need to get out there, build those connections, get some support, whether you have a hypnotist buddy that you can get sessions with, or get a business coach, get somebody to give you that bird's eye view so that we can keep pushing through, because, we're in such an important industry, and this is our time to really step up and let people know what we do and that we can help them. I love there's a life coach called Stacey Bayman, and she says, if you had the cure for cancer, and this is for life coaches, if you had the cure for cancer, you would run around telling everybody you met, like, come and do this thing, I can cure cancer. Yeah. And I don't want to get into the legalities of it, but you know what, like we kind of can. So why aren't we getting out there and saying, hey, everybody, this is amazing?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I have to agree with you. In fact, I was just hearing a story of someone that someone was telling him about how he's depressed and he didn't come home that night. And I'm thinking in my head, like, just tell him to call me. Yeah. It's like, we can help. Really, we can help this. And, it's just getting out there. There's so much need for our services and what we can do with people and how we can help them.
Absolutely. And a lovely mindset, which, we know the power of good questions, right? So I love what if questions. And a really powerful one that I use every day as well is, what if somebody is out there looking for my help right now?
Yes. And we were too fearful to get out there and tell them what we have.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
And also the other point, and you probably can attest to this, is even newer hypnotists and hypnotherapists, they might not be as effective as one that has been in the business for 10 years, but they still are effective. They still help. when I look back even that many years, am I much more efficient and helpful now? Yes. But did I still help people? Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. And it's so easy for us to not value or not think about what we know and expect that everybody else knows it too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was doing a podcast interview with an entrepreneur yesterday, and just even in our conversation, just the idea that you need to be organized in order to be successful, for her, just realizing that that was a limiting belief was mind-blowing. So
yes.
that's such a simple thing. It's such a simple gift that we can give people.
Yes.
Definitely. And anyone, any of us, even just beginning our training, we can help people in that way.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And so you are offering so generously our audience a quiz. What's your pricing monster? Now, the link is on the bottom here for all of you to go ahead and get that free gift from Vicky. But Vicky, can you tell us a little bit more about it?
Yeah, definitely. So this quiz is a bit of fun. I've noticed that there's sort of 4 main limiting beliefs around our pricing specifically that tend to hold people back. So I've created this fun little quiz to help you figure out which one is the biggest one that's holding you back. So I've created the idea of the pricing monsters, because the same as I've mentioned to you before we started with the archetypes, is it's really helpful to kind of dissociate ourselves from these behaviors, from these beliefs or these thoughts, so that we realize that there's not anything wrong with us. It's just that thought monster. And so, yeah, there's 4 different thought monsters. So there is comparisonitis, which is like your imposter syndrome. You're comparing yourself to other people. There is the do-gooder, who's the one who just has to get out there and help everybody, even if they can't afford it. There's imperfecto, who's the monster that thinks, oh, I'll never be good enough. I could never charge that much because I just don't know if I can help people. And then there's my favorite one, which is assumptionitis, which is where you put yourself into the client's wallet and you make assumptions about what they can or are willing to pay.
I love that, assumptionitis. That's a good one. So we have the 4 monsters and we get to take that quiz and see where we fit.
Yeah.
Yeah. How fun is that? I love it. So tell us a little bit more about, if any of us are interested in finding you, where we can find you.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can go to vickysantiago.com, which is more my hypnotherapy website, but I have links there as well to my business coaching and more of my work with the hypnotherapists. If you're interested in learning more about the sacred money archetypes and your money mindset, definitely follow me on Instagram, because I'm doing quite a lot of work on there, talking about the different archetypes and the mindsets and the shadow sides and the gifts and how we can start to incorporate those. So that's at Vicky E. Santiago.
You said Vicky E?
Yes, that's right.
Okay, perfect. I'm going to definitely look you up on Instagram. Perfect. So great. So if any of you, all of you that have gotten all of this amazing wisdom and information from Vicky would like to find her, please go ahead and get her free quiz, look her up on her website, and find her on Instagram. I will definitely be on there. So thank you so much, Vicky, for all of that information and everything that you gave to us. It was very interesting.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure and really, really fun. Thank you for having me.
Yes, I appreciate your time and being here. And thank you all so much for being here on the Profitable Hypnosis Business Online Show. See you all soon.